or hunt for 3 points. They are playing against Brighton today. At the same time, we're gonna be talking about Wolves versus Sheffield, and I wanna hear your thoughts. I wanna hear your prediction before the game. And we are here now live in this 5 o'clock time show, and I think you have already seen there was a reminder. So I want to hear from you before we go anywhere far, guys. I want you guys to click the subscribe button, click the like button, and share this video on your social media. It helps the page a lot. It makes people know about it the most. So please do that right now before we start. So I was just let's talk about Frank Lampard. Remember, that's the only reason that most of you are gonna tune out to hear, isn't it? So what is happening is this. Like right now, I was just listening to his press conference preparing for the Brighton game. He has confirmed that there are some certain players in the team who are not going to be available for this game against Brighton, like Hakim Ziyech, was the newly signed player. He will not be there for Chelsea this season, this day game, not this season, this game, because he has an injury, he has a knock, so he'll be out of the game. At the same time, they were talking about the competition that is raised with the team. So it seems like players like Timo Werner or even Kai, they're talking about Thiago Silva, that is now also in London but not yet training with Chelsea until maybe we're saying next weekend or something like that. So it means that even in the game against Barcelona, and what he was saying is that Hakim Ziyech, the thing that we are looking at, it seems like the re-injury is going to take more time than we expected. So that is the information we need to look at the moment. That's why we are being told by Chelsea. So I want to hear your thoughts, guys. I want to hear what you're thinking about this game. How do you see this game coming to an end? Who's winning for you? And give your reasons why. I expect to hear your goal prediction. Of course, we are expecting Frank Lampard, this Chelsea, to win. But do you see them, because now they're on the Thiago Silva, the player that they signed on a free transfer. So it means the defense is still the same defense of Chelsea that we have already been knowing. So what do you think? Is that a game changer for this game? Does that affect whatever the way preparing to see in this game, or however you are seeing it? What do you see this thing that is happening affecting the next season, guys? Because not next season, next game, in fact, because next season, remember, this season he'll be here for Chelsea, and it's gonna be interesting. Let's just hear what do you think about the game. How do you see? Do you think that Brighton is there some strike force or some players who can actually hurt Chelsea into scoring goals this game that they'll be playing against Brighton? At the same time, I'm asking myself, where do you see them going? Because Brighton are a pretty good team in terms of defending, but do you see them actually utilizing that to their advantage? I'm talking about Brighton defending so that they can actually survive, because now they have Ben White, the player who has been making a lot of noise in the transfer window. So all of these things, they are going to play a bigger role, and maybe they're going to affect a little bit of more of the things that are going to happen in this game. But I believe that Chelsea are going to win this. According to me, I believe that Chelsea are going to win this game. I actually did a prediction, which I'm actually certain that I'm a little bit worried if that prediction will come true. But we'll have to wait and see in terms of the development and whatever that happens. But if you guys are interested in saying something, please say your comment right now. It's open right now. Let me hear your comments. What are you expecting from Chelsea, and how is it going to help in terms of from where they are right now to where they want to go? He was asked an interesting question as well, Lampard. He was asked that after signing all these players, do you see yourself as a player who's actually or as a team that is actually challenging for like the Premier League and stuff? Then Lampard was like saying that I don't think any manager can say that they can challenge a team. He said he doesn't think that he can challenge after the players that they bought. At the same time, one thing that I took so seriously, said that all the teams that have been dominating the Premier League, namely Liverpool and Manchester City, he said that it took some more time for them to develop to be where they are. It was a time that they took to actually develop, not buying players and trying to make them fit in the system. So at the moment, Chelsea are still maybe, I think what he was trying to say was that maybe they're still maybe at the position when they have have to work so hard so that we can see what they can offer, so that they can actually do something. But one thing he said he believes his team can do this season. They are not going to finish far away from Liverpool and City like what they did last season. They are saying that most of the team will finish far away from number one and number two, which was mostly true. I think they finished, is it 45 points away from Liverpool. In fact, I don't know against City. We have to wait and see on that. I think you can check it, or you can confirm in the comments if you are really sure of what happened exactly in the game. So what I just saw from this, he was just naming a couple of things. Most people might say that is that him chickening out, or maybe afraid that he's not gonna perform as much as he expect because he has signed a lot of players. At the same time, we know how Chelsea goes in their businesses, so it's gonna be interesting to find out how the game goes. He talks about also that they never got actually pre-season that was enough for the club because some of the players were still yet being bought. At the same time, they were just coming from a Bayern Munich defeat. They actually had more time to prepare for what was going yet to come. So I think there were a lot of things that was giving, and he said he's not giving excuses, but when you look at it at a different fan perspective, like me for example, I felt like there were just a couple of excuses he was giving. I don't know, maybe is it because he's just afraid a little bit, because remember, at the same time, even though he bought as much players he wanted, Chelsea bought players. At the same time, we're still talking about Chelsea here, and Chelsea, unlike most of the clubs, they are a team that if you buy a lot of players, they expect you to bring the results as a coach. And he was asked about the pressure that last season he wasn't really under pressure. I think you can go check it out. And he said that if anyone knows Chelsea's mentality in terms of managers and the Premier League seasons, you are always under pressure whenever you're at Chelsea. But he was saying that but last season maybe it was a little bit less, that he had to bring out some youngsters to try to help Chelsea, which made them feel like they were actually a new team. In fact, there were some points and some moments where we actually felt like, wow, they were actually performing so well. But he said that he was not going to say all these things to hold them, so that he tried to put some excuses on us and stuff like that. He said that he's expecting his team to play and bring exactly what the team has to bring after doing all the signings and stuff like that. So I want to hear your thoughts, guys. How do you see the Chelsea game going? At the same time, how do you see the Wolves game going? Because it's going to be interesting to find out what happens from where we are right now to where we are supposed to be going in terms of in terms of the Chelsea game, because a lot of players are going to be looking at their biggest signings of the game, which are namely Timo Werner, Kai. I don't even know if Kai is yet seen in the team. So maybe let's just say basically in this first game we're expecting more of the team that was there before these new signings. So it's gonna be interesting to find out how we develop and how it goes, but let's just wait and watch the space. It's gonna be an interesting game. I'm 100% sure about that. It's gonna be an interesting game, but at the same time we wanna see how they develop from where they are to where they are gonna go, because come on, after signing all those players we expect you at least to do something. So guys, before I continue with saying whatever I'm saying about Chelsea, just giving my own reaction here as I wait for other people who want to join in or me taking in this and give their own thoughts or whatever feedback in terms of this thing. Please do us a favor by clicking the subscribe button, sharing this video to your social media, at the same time liking this video. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens though, because that's the most. Remember I said I'll be tuning in for a watch along, so please be there for that one. It's gonna be an interesting game. We have to wait and see what happens, and we'll be keeping our eyes exactly on the game, on the price, to see how much are they gonna be affected and how they're gonna be play as a team, because it's not going to be that easy as what people are expecting it to be. It's going to be challenging, and I hope that Frankie's boys are ready for the challenge and they're going to fight to the end of the game, in fact, to show that they're there. Because rather than what, but Brighton has also bought some new signings as well. They've actually developed as well as a team, so let's not put that away aside. In fact, if I may say, they have to actually be there to challenge the game, to see if they can actually take something out of this newly Chelsea team. But at the same time, Chelsea is a bigger club. We expect them to do so well. We expect them to actually show that they are there to challenge. And also, they need to do so well so that when they go to the next game, which is against Liverpool, they have actually proven to us that they are there to stay and they are there to offer something new that we are hoping that they will do. So it's going to be an interesting game all in all. And we'll keep looking at the new signings, because even though they don't have exactly all the signings, because the players that we are sure that won't be in the game, it's Akim Ziyech, who picked up a knock on their friendly game. I don't know which team they were playing with. At the same time, the other player who's not going to be there is Thiago Silva, who's in London but not yet. I don't know what is happening, what is delaying that, but he has not really explained why. But he's in London. Maybe I think he's still working on in terms of the movement, where he's going to be staying and stuff like that. That has to be sorted. But also, Kia Havenantes was signed a little bit later than Chelsea, than all these players. So, I don't think he will be in the game. Maybe in the Liverpool game, which is going to be an interesting game, because being in Liverpool for this big debut is going to be interesting. And also, all these players are new. They don't really know about the Premier League that much. So we have to wait and see if they're going to be able to actually show. I did say this before. If they're going to be able to actually play to prove that they deserve to be in the Premier League. At the same time, looking at this, we have to actually wonder if they're going to be able to offer more in this Premier League season. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this season, because Chelsea is a team to look out for with all they've done and all the signings that they've actually brought to the game. It's going to be interesting to see what they're going to be offering in this game. So I want to hear your thoughts, guys, your comments. Put your comments down below. I haven't seen most of your comments, guys, because I'm always checking, rather than some of the spamming things that I'm seeing on my comments. I'm always checking on your comments to see what you think about some of the videos I'm putting there. I just see you guys. Thank you for somebody who subscribed today. Thank you. Welcome to the family. I hope more people keep subscribing to us so that we grow this family, guys. It will help us a lot here at the Football Connect, and we're expecting you guys to do more. So, what else do you think we need to cover? I think I've said almost basically it against Chelsea. What else do we need to cover? Okay, there was also information in I did mention it in the transfer video that I did earlier on. You can check it out. I think they'll make sure that it appears after this video, where we were told that in Mendy deal, there's the medicals of the player have already been done. So it means that Mendy is naturally now in London. He has completed his medical. We wait to see the agreements between the player and the club in terms of the contract and the signing and stuff like that. At the same time, we wait to see what is the next thing we need to focus. We wait to see what he's going to offer to the club. So it has been a good signing for Chelsea, and I don't think it's gonna be as easy as people are expecting it to be. Like, for example, like, it's not gonna be like as simple as the Everton game. Like, I'm talking about the connection of the player, because Decore Alan and James Rodriguez looked like they've been playing together for such a long time. So I don't think that will be the same case in terms of the Chelsea. It's gonna have to actually take time, because ladies and gentlemen, we can agree on this. We are talking about some of the world-class players that have joined this club. At the same time, after joining this club, these world-class players, we have to definitely look how they're gonna work together in terms of their chemistry in this football game. We need to see that as well. How is it going to affect, and how much is going to offer more to the club? That's something that we need to look at, that most of the people are not looking at, because these guys are superstars in all. So we have to see what happens exactly. But on top of that, we'll see what happens in all. But we'll wait and see on the things that happens. But I want to hear your comments, guys. Tell me what you think, because it's going to be interesting to see how these developments will go and what else will come in this end of this game. But let's see what happens. It's going to be interesting. Also, let's talk about the next game that is going to be played today, which is Wolves versus Sheffield. Wolves versus Sheffield is going to be an interesting game. I think it's going to be a bigger boost to Wolves after their manager just signed a new 3-year contract. I think they needed to keep Santos at Wolves for a little bit more, because it firstly brought them into the first league, into the Premier League. At the same time, he has been doing so well in the past season. They have been a top 10, top 9 some team for the past 2 seasons, which is actually interesting. At the same time, we need to see what happens in the development. So, guys, If you want to talk to us, guys, the Skype lines are open. You can always call us so that we hear whatever you want to say. It'll be live so that we hear you in person what you're expecting. At the same time, you can always leave your comments if you are a shy person who doesn't want to be there on camera. We have to see what happens. But it's going to be an interesting game in all the games that are going to be played. And my predictions, like I've already given you, let me just make sure that you see them again before the game starts. There are some interesting predictions though. There's some interesting predictions. Let's see what is here, what I need to do here. Some interesting predictions, like I said. So let's hear from you guys on this small display. What is in here? I'm having some technical difficulties here, guys. Let's see. Okay, let's see what we have here. My predictions, I'm actually forgetting the predictions that I did, which is actually weird, but there they are. Let me show you on the screen. Okay, this were my prediction, guys. I said in Wolves versus, it is Sheffield United versus Wolves. It's gonna be an interesting game, but I see that Wolves will actually dominate in this game. We will dominate because guess what? They have more. They know more about the Premier League rather than what Sheffield United. At the same time, they've been in the Premier League for such a long time. So all these things are gonna play exactly in their beneficial. At the same time, I said Chelsea will win by 1-0 against Brighton. I didn't really look at their past games and stuff like that because it seems like basically more of the teams will be there. But at the same time, I think Brighton have actually improved more into their defense, so that's going to be interesting. And that strike force, we have to see what happens. I want to see how the debut of Adam Lallana goes because that's one player we're gonna keep looking. We're gonna keep our eyes on exactly. So we'll wait, and I'll be there also at 9 o'clock, guys, for the watch along. So you have to wait for that. It's gonna be an interesting thing, and I want to hear your thoughts and see what happens in terms of the developments of this. But all in all, they're gonna be interesting games. Let me hear your thoughts, guys. I want to hear your thoughts. Maybe some of the comments I might not answer them now, but I'll answer them definitely after the stream, or maybe when we are building up for the game. But I hope you are excited. The Premier League is back, and there have been some interesting games. I will talk about all the Premier League games, like all in all, tomorrow, when I'll be just doing a wrap up, just going through all the games after all they've been played, just giving you an just what I thought from all the games and what we will expect to see from the next games. But I think if there are no comments, I expected maybe you guys to join us, maybe give your comments and stuff like that, which has not yet happened. But if it doesn't happen, then we have to say that we will meet again, guys, later around what time? Around 9 o'clock, because that's when the stream starts, where we would actually discuss a little bit after the Wolf game would have been played, and at the same time we'll move on to link in the next games that are coming, which is the Chelsea game. At the same time, talking about what else is also that has happened, and maybe if we're gonna have to do the thing, we'll have to do it after the Chelsea the game. If we're gonna talk about the match recap and talk about how the games were like, we'll talk about that exactly after the games. But I hope you are excited for the last games of game one for most of the teams, because remember Manchester United and City were still in European games before the time, so they've been given an extra week to actually rest and actually prepare that team. But we'll see them next week for game 2. For them it will be game 1, so let's just say for game 2 season. So that's it from us here in Africa in the Football Connect, and I hope to meet you guys on the next video, which is coming very soon. But it's gonna be interesting to see what Frankie and his team does, because I want to see what Lampard has there to offer. At the same time, I want to see where they are going to move on from where they are to where they are going. It's going to be interesting. But it's all about Chelsea today. We focus on Chelsea only, guys, and let's hear what will happen. But thank you very much for watching, guys, and I hope to meet you on another video. This has been Sam, and this has been the Football Connect, and we'll meet again on another video. So ciao from here, guys, and we'll talk again later. Please, before I go anywhere, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share this video on all the platforms at the same time. Don't forget to show your appreciation, guys, by subscribing to the channel. As we are growing, guys, we expect you guys to do more. So thank you very much. I'll always keep reminding you to subscribe.